The internet, as most people know it, is merely the visible tip of a much larger digital iceberg. Beneath the surface lies a vast, concealed layer known as the deep web, and within that, a shadowy subset called the dark web. For many, the term dark web conjures images of clandestine marketplaces, cyber criminals, and a digital underworld teeming with illicit activity. Yet the reality is both more nuanced and more complex. As society becomes increasingly reliant on digital infrastructure, understanding the dark web, its structure, uses, risks, and implications for cybersecurity has never been more vital. To appreciate what the dark web is, one must first grasp the broader taxonomy of the internet. The surface web comprises all publicly accessible websites indexed by search engines such as Google or Bing. This is the familiar internet where most daily activities occur: news sites, social media, e-commerce, and so forth. The deep web, in contrast, consists of content not indexed by traditional search engines. This includes everything from academic databases to medical records and private organizational intranets. While the deep web is largely innocuous and essential for privacy and security, a small fraction of it, the dark web, requires specialized software or configurations to access and is intentionally hidden from regular internet users. The dark web primarily operates through overlay networks, with Tor, the onion router, being the most prominent. Tor enables users to browse anonymously by routing traffic through a series of volunteer-operated servers, encrypting data at each step. This anonymity is a double-edged sword. While it can protect whistleblowers, journalists, and citizens in oppressive regimes, it also provides cover for criminals seeking to evade law enforcement. Accessing the dark web typically involves using the Tor browser, which can reach onion domains inaccessible via standard browsers. The architecture of the dark web is designed to maximize privacy and obfuscation. When a user accesses a site through Tor, their connection is bounced through multiple nodes, each only knowing its immediate predecessor and successor. This makes tracing the origin or destination of traffic exceedingly difficult. Additionally, many dark websites employ further layers of encryption and authentication, often requiring invitation codes or referrals. These technical barriers serve both to protect users' identities and to shield sites from unwanted attention, whether from authorities or malicious actors. Contrary to popular belief, not everything on the dark web is illegal or nefarious. There are legitimate uses for anonymous communication. Human rights activists, dissidents, and journalists in repressive countries use the dark web to circumvent censorship, communicate securely, and share information without fear of reprisal. Secure drop sites enable whistleblowers to leak sensitive documents to journalists anonymously. Some forums focus on privacy advocacy, cryptography, and free speech. In these contexts, the dark web serves as a critical tool for protecting civil liberties and enabling open discourse where it is otherwise suppressed. However, the dark web's reputation as a haven for illicit activity is not unfounded. A significant portion of its traffic revolves around illegal marketplaces, trading in drugs, weapons, stolen data, counterfeit documents, and hacking tools. Sites like Silk Road, Alphabay, and Hansa Market became infamous for facilitating large-scale criminal enterprise before they were eventually dismantled by law enforcement. These marketplaces function similarly to legitimate e-commerce platforms, complete with vendor ratings, escrow services, and dispute resolution mechanisms. Cryptocurrencies, particularly Bitcoin and Monero, are commonly used for transactions due to their pseudonymous or anonymous nature. The proliferation of illegal goods and services on the dark web presents profound challenges for cybersecurity. One of the most pressing concerns is the sale and distribution of malware, ransomware as a service, exploit kits, and zero-day vulnerabilities. Cybercriminals can purchase or rent sophisticated tools to launch attacks against individuals, organizations, and even critical infrastructure. The commoditization of cybercrime lowers the barrier to entry, enabling less technically skilled actors to perpetrate attacks by simply buying what they need. This has led to an explosion in ransomware incidents, data breaches, and targeted attacks against businesses and government entities. Stolen data is another major commodity on the dark web. After a data breach, compromised credentials, credit card numbers, personal identification information, and corporate secrets often find their way onto dark web forums and marketplaces. Buyers may use this information for identity theft, financial fraud, or further cyber attacks. The rapid dissemination of breached data increases the urgency for organizations to detect and respond to incidents quickly, as the window between compromise and exploitation continues to shrink. The dark web also facilitates the coordination and planning of cyber attacks. Forums and chat rooms serve as hubs where hackers, fraudsters, and other malicious actors exchange tips, share code, recruit collaborators, and advertise criminal services. The anonymity provided by Tor and similar networks makes it difficult for law enforcement to infiltrate these communities or identify key players. Some groups operate with a high degree of professionalism, offering customer support, guarantees, and even loyalty programs to attract and retain clients. Law enforcement agencies worldwide have responded to the threat posed by the dark web with a combination of technical innovation, undercover operations, and international collaboration. High-profile takedowns of marketplaces and forums have disrupted criminal ecosystems, but the decentralized and resilient nature of the dark web means that new sites often spring up to replace those that are shuttered. Moreover, the use of encrypted communications and cryptocurrencies complicates efforts to trace transactions and attribute crimes to specific individuals. From a cybersecurity perspective, the dark web is both a threat and a source of intelligence. Security professionals routinely monitor dark web forums and marketplaces for indicators of compromise, leaked credentials, and emerging attack techniques. Dark web monitoring has become a standard component of threat intelligence programs, enabling organizations to proactively identify and mitigate risks before they escalate. However, accessing and navigating the dark web safely requires specialized skills and tools, as the environment is rife with scams, malware, and traps designed to ensnare the unwary. The rise of ransomware exemplifies the symbiotic relationship between the dark web and cybercrime. Ransomware operators often advertise their services on dark web forums, recruit affiliates, and negotiate ransom payments through anonymous channels. The availability of ransomware as a service platforms means that even individuals with limited technical expertise can launch devastating attacks, targeting everything from hospitals to municipal governments. The proceeds are typically laundered through cryptocurrency mixers, making recovery and attribution exceedingly difficult. Beyond direct cybercrime, the dark web poses broader societal risks. It serves as a marketplace for child exploitation materials, human trafficking, and extremist propaganda. Law enforcement agencies have made significant strides in combating these heinous activities, but the scale and secrecy of the dark web make eradication a formidable challenge. The ethical and legal complexities of policing the dark web raise important questions about privacy, surveillance, and the balance between security and civil liberties. For individuals and organizations, the existence of the dark web underscores the importance of robust cybersecurity practices. Strong password management, multi-factor authentication, timely patching of software, and employee education are essential defenses against the risks emanating from the dark web. Organizations should implement comprehensive incident response plans and regularly test their ability to detect and contain breaches. Proactive monitoring of the dark web for leaked credentials and sensitive data can provide early warning of potential threats. The dark web also highlights the evolving nature of cyber threats. Traditional perimeter defenses are no longer sufficient in an era where attackers can bypass firewalls and intrusion detection systems using stolen credentials or zero-day exploits purchased on the dark web. Security must be layered, adaptive, and intelligence-driven. Organizations should invest in advanced threat detection technologies, behavioral analytics, and continuous monitoring to stay ahead of adversaries who exploit the anonymity and resources of the dark web. On a policy level, governments and international bodies face the daunting task of regulating and policing the dark web without infringing on legitimate uses of privacy-enhancing technologies. Blanket bans or excessive surveillance risk driving users further underground or jeopardizing the safety of activists and journalists. Effective strategies require cooperation between law enforcement, technology providers, financial institutions, and civil society to disrupt criminal networks while preserving fundamental rights. Education and awareness are crucial components of any response to the dark web. Misconceptions and sensationalism can lead to unnecessary fear or complacency. Individuals should understand that merely accessing the dark web is not inherently illegal, but engaging in criminal activity is. At the same time, users must be aware of the risks, including exposure to malware, scams, and law enforcement scrutiny. Organizations should educate employees about the dangers of phishing, credential reuse, and social engineering, as these are common vectors for attacks originating from the dark web. As technology evolves, so too does the dark web. Advances in encryption, anonymization, and decentralized hosting continue to enhance the resilience and reach of dark web services. New networks and protocols such as I2P and Freenet offer alternative avenues for anonymous communication and content sharing. The emergence of decentralized marketplaces and blockchain-based platforms may further complicate efforts to regulate and police the dark web. Meanwhile, artificial intelligence and machine learning are being leveraged by both defenders and attackers to automate tasks, analyze data, and identify vulnerabilities. The interplay between the dark web and emerging technologies raises important questions for the future of cybersecurity. Quantum computing, for example, could undermine current encryption schemes, potentially exposing dark web traffic to decryption and analysis. Conversely, quantum-resistant algorithms may further strengthen the anonymity and security of dark web communications. The arms race between defenders and attackers will continue to shape the landscape, requiring constant vigilance and innovation. In the face of these challenges, collaboration and information sharing are more important than ever. Public-private partnerships, threat intelligence sharing platforms, and cross-border cooperation can enhance collective resilience against threats emanating from the dark web. Law enforcement agencies must work closely with cybersecurity experts, technology companies, and financial institutions to disrupt criminal infrastructure, trace illicit funds, and bring perpetrators to justice. Ultimately, the dark web is a reflection of the broader tensions inherent in the digital age, the desire for privacy and freedom versus the need for security and accountability. It is neither wholly good nor wholly evil, but a complex ecosystem shaped by the values, incentives, and actions of its users. As society grapples with the implications of the dark web, it must strive to strike a balance that protects individual rights while safeguarding against harm. For cybersecurity professionals, the dark web represents both a battleground and a source of valuable intelligence. Staying informed about trends, threats, and emerging techniques is essential for effective defense. Continuous learning, investment in advanced technologies, and a proactive approach to risk management are key to mitigating the dangers posed by the dark web. For policymakers and law enforcement, the challenge lies in crafting effective responses that do not undermine the very freedoms they seek to protect. Targeted enforcement, international cooperation, and respect for due process are essential components of any sustainable strategy. Efforts to disrupt criminal activity must be balanced with safeguards for legitimate uses of anonymity and encryption. For individuals, awareness and vigilance are the best defenses. Understanding the risks, practicing good digital hygiene, and staying informed about the evolving threat landscape can help mitigate the dangers associated with the dark web. While the prospect of a hidden internet may be unsettling, knowledge is the most powerful tool for navigating its complexities. In conclusion, the dark web is an integral, if controversial, part of the modern internet. Its implications for cybersecurity are profound, touching on issues of privacy, crime, innovation, and governance. By understanding the structure, uses, and risks of the dark web, society can better prepare to meet the challenges it presents. Through collaboration, education, and innovation, the benefits of a secure and open internet can be preserved. even in the face of the shadows cast by the dark web.